So we published 50 blog posts in 2 days, and within a few months, the traffic for this website was up to 3K. And in this video, I just want to go through why we did that and how you can do it too. So I'm a big believer in front-loading content. So instead of publishing 3 articles a month or 5 articles a month for your own website or for your client's website, what's stopping you from publishing much more than that? You know, publishing everything you possibly can write about the topic. Publish it as soon as possible. There's no penalty. There's nothing wrong with publishing articles on your website. You know, Google doesn't own your website. Google doesn't have a say in your publishing frequency. Google doesn't know how many writers you've got or how many you want to write per day. This isn't a spam metric. What is a spam signal is publishing bad content. Whether you publish 1 piece of bad content or 1,000 pieces of bad content, that's where search engines have issue with this. And a frame to look at this is, what would you publish even if Google didn't exist? So you've got a website about astronomy. Let's say, for example, you're an astronomy information site, and you sell maybe stuff for astronomists, you know, telescopes and stuff like that. What would you write about, even if Google didn't exist? What would you write about on your website? Well, you'd write about the best telescopes. You'd write about how to use the telescopes. You'd write about all the stars that you can see in the sky, all the galaxies. You'd write about stuff to do with the universe. You'd write about stuff to do with space in general. You'd write about this stuff because you know your visitors would be interested in it. You'd know that because you're providing this content, your visitors will be more engaged in your website, more engaged in your brand. They might sign up to a newsletter, an email list. You might have a guide that you give away for an email, then you upsell on your astronomy equipment, that kind of thing. You'd probably do all this if Google didn't exist. So you should just do it anyway. The only sort of barrier to doing this, in my opinion, is obviously content quality. So if you can keep content quality high, and so that you're proud of every piece of content that goes out, and you can produce 20, 30 articles, 40 articles, 50 articles in the first month of your website or the first day even, you know, you should do it. You might have budget to use a content company like Fat Joe. You might be able to hire some writers. You might be able to write it all yourself. But what I'm saying is, get out of this mindset of publishing 3 articles a month because you think that's natural for some reason. That Wikipedia publish 500 posts every day, and they're doing pretty good in Google Organic. There's nothing wrong with publishing as many as you can, as long as the quality stays intact. So it all starts with a content plan. So obviously, don't go into this and just start writing about anything. You need to treat this like you're writing a book. So astronomy example, again, you've got an astronomy website. Let's pretend you're writing an astronomy book. So your content strategy is going to revolve around chapters, sections, and then sub-chapters, which will be like categories. And then within the categories, we'll have posts, which will contain an individual goal per post, you know. So you can have, you know, these overarching posts, which is everything you need to know about galaxies, you know, whatever. But then you could have a post about, you know, a certain galaxy or a certain planet or certain kind of astronomy equipment, zooming in on one piece of equipment if that's, you know, how deep you want to go. But in this content plan, which topical map is a loaded word. Every topical map I've seen is very complicated, and I've never really used it. So I like to use the word content plan because to me, it's just a list of articles I want to write on my website, with another column which is like the category that it goes into, another column with maybe some keywords I want to hit, you know. But most of the time, you know, you can write a content plan without even looking at keyword tools. The reason why you want to use keyword tools is just use it as a sanity check. Are people actually searching for this? Is this a better phrase or is this a better phrase? You know, there might be 2 different ways of saying something. In which case, use keyword tool, find out which is the best way of saying it. Great. If you need help with a content plan, we do this as a service. So basically, we offer Basic and Pro. Pro gives you 100 topics for £250. Basic gives you 50 topics for £200. And essentially, you give us your topic, and then we'll give you up to 100 topics, basically categorized, everything you need to write to cover that topic in its entirety. And it's got all of the briefs in there, the categories. It gives you a word count, gives you difficulty, gives you the search volume, so you can attack it search volume highest first if you want, or you can go easy first, up to you. And then obviously we have a writing service as well. It doesn't matter how many blog posts you order, so you can order 50, 100, 150. We'll get this done for you within a few days. We've got hundreds of writers ready to go on your projects, and they're trained to write for SEO purposes. Now, this isn't meant to be a sales pitch, even though it kind of was then. My point is, use any kind of topical map content plan service. Use any kind of writing team out there. You've maybe got one yourself, or you've got a vendor that you use, and you can publish as many pieces of content as you want ASAP. There's no reason to hang about for this. I prefer human content, but I've got nothing against AI content. What I've got a problem with is just bad content. So, if you edit the AI content, it's useful, or there's a prompt that magically makes every single one like super useful, and yeah, it's not full of fluff like the usual AI stuff. There's no reason why you can't use AI for this. Just make sure you're not doing this, as a kind of a way just to get traffic. Like if that's the only goal, and your goal isn't to nurture your visitors, to take them on a journey, to get sign-ups to your newsletter, you need to make every piece of content you put on your website fight for its life. It's got to have a goal. It's got to be useful. So this was basically what we did. We published 50 pieces of content. I can't reveal the site, but it's an e-com store. So, and it was like a DR 0.3 or something like that. And we did no link building. We just published these posts from a content plan. The difficulty was fairly easy. It's not a really, really difficult niche. But there was some pretty high traffic keywords we started ranking for straight away, just because we hit all the keywords and the sub keywords from the content plan. So that's basically a little video there just to go through why we think you should publish everything ASAP. No need to stagger it.